Just left a little bit on so we could show you guys what it looks like. But every May we just go to our camels and we just brush them and pull this off, and then you can get it spun, and it's nice and soft. And then the guard hair, this kind of weird hair over here, stays in for a couple of weeks, and then it comes off, and then he just has like a really smooth, beautiful coat.
I've been dreaming way too much. Can we just turn this into reality? 'Cause I've been thinking about you lately. Maybe you could save me from this crazy world we live in. And I know we could happen, 'cause you know that I've been feeling.
It's like a little white patch over it, like a little white spot.
They will come,
Let's see. We're going to start in just a few minutes, folks. So come over, grab a seat. We're going to bring out our beautiful camels. Talk all about camels in just about 3 minutes.
Sing a song to break the ice. Just a smile from you would suffice. It's not me being nice. Girl, this is real tonight, 'cause I've been thinking about you lately. Maybe you could save me from this crazy world we live in. And I know we could happen, 'cause you know that I've been feeling you. I know you want me. There's no other, there's no other love that I'd rather have. There ain't no one else. I want you for myself. What? I've been thinking about you lately. Maybe you could save me from this crazy world we live in. And I know we could happen, 'cause you know that I've been I know you want me. I've been thinking about you lately. And maybe you could save me from this crazy world we live in. And I know we could happen, 'cause you know that I've been feeling you. I know you want me to. I know you want me to.
All right, guys and girls, we have just 2 minutes till showtime. Come on in and get a seat if you'd like to get up close and personal with these very big, beautiful camels. We're going to start in just, let's say 1 minute. Shall we say 1 minute? Let's do that.
You're a rebel, Nancy.
I am a rebel. We don't need no clocks. Plus, I just restocked the store, so I'm all excited. Oh, is that hers? Oh, I did have a different bag. I have a bag for her. This is her bag. So that's that. you guys ready for the big show? Yeah! All right, you guys are cool. Thanks, everybody. Here, let me fade out the music. Good afternoon, y'all. Welcome here to the beautiful San Diego County Fair. How's everybody out here doing today?
Didn't you do the turkey?
Wait, what?
Are you the turkey woman?
Am I the what?
You're the turkey woman?
The turkey woman? I take that as a compliment. Well, yes, I am. Yes, I am the turkey woman, and yes, although he's got a totally different prop set, this is Cowboy Gil.
Right here.
Everyone say hi, Cowboy Gil.
Hi, Cowboy Gil.
So the turkeys had to stay home this year. There's an outbreak. It doesn't affect our pet birds, not really, but there's an outbreak of chicken virus called Newcastle virus, and the poultry industry really doesn't like it. And I guess in Southern California, they've actually had to quarantine and do stuff to a few birds that aren't with us anymore. Not our birds, but I didn't know how to say that without being a downer. But he's like, that's not how I want to start the show. And millions. Anyway, so one of the ways to keep a virus from spreading is to keep everybody from mixing and mingling. So the state has asked all chickens and, poultry, chickens, turkeys, ducks to stay home. So I'm really glad you guys are here, because I'm sure many of you are planning tomorrow to maybe go to a movie and bring your pet duck with you. Now you know that is actually frowned upon by the state until this Newcastle virus gets under control. So the turkeys are grounded. They've had their wings clipped for the year. They're just sitting at home going, is it something we said? No, you guys are fine. They're all fine. But what was so great for us, and we can't thank them enough, is that instead of the fair saying, okay, see you next year, which would be really hard on our farm financially, they said, well, can you bring another show and do it? Could you bring the camels? So that's what we're doing today, in case you didn't know. In case you're still expecting Big Red and some turkeys to run through this
where's
mess.
the Big Red?
Well, Big Red, I'm telling you what, Big Red is so fragile, and these camels would take him out. That would be really bad. So this is actually, I think every year at the show we say, well, in addition to raising turkeys, we milk camels. And people, yeah, exactly, people do that. They do that face right there. And really? And so that's what we really do. The Turkey Stampede is just a way to help pay the bills, because we have a camel dairy. So that's not really a great way to pay bills, I'm just telling you right now. But we were asked to bring the camels here instead this year, and we couldn't be happier, because we have such a cool family of camels. It was very hard to pick who was going to get to come meet you. The no-brainer was the couple right there. That's Mama Knuckles and Baby Amina, because we want to show you live, not like Facebook Live, live camel milking. So we're going to do that right here in the show. And then this is one of our big geldings that you'll meet at the end of the show. But we wanted to start with this little star student. Her name is Fergie. She's a 2-year-old dromedary. We actually have 21 camels.
Whoa!
Yes, so we picked, they're all wonderful. They're all special. But
they're all special.
They
That's
all in
very
their
true.
own way. But Fergie's going to kind of give you a look at how we get started training a new camel, because boy, do they have a bad rep for being beasts.
They do, but actually camels are really nice.
Look at, she's beasting out.
Yeah, she's mushing out. She's a rebel right now. This is Fergie over here, and pretty much we train them the way you train your dog at home. So when you ask your dog to come over and you give him a treat, you say, come over, sit down, shake, and you give him a treat. Same thing with these guys. We don't ask them to shake or sit down. But we do ask her, like I will go to her and say, come on, come over here, and then I'd give her a little treat. And now before she goes in, she'll get a little treat too. But she likes doing it. They really enjoy doing it. They like hanging out with the people that take care of them. This is a very affectionate thing over here. It's just kind of like licking my fingers. Baby camels do that with the adults, and they kind of get saliva. They do it mouth to mouth, and they get saliva. And so
Show us.
I am not going to do that. I'm going to use my fingers. So anyways, but that's what she's doing, because she's just bonding, but she's a cute little girl. Now for us, I know for you it looks like she's big. I mean, she's 700 pounds, she's 2 years old, but they mature when they're 6 years of age. So a 2-year-old is kind of have like a mushy brain. You know, they're just not adults yet, and we treat them differently than we would treat an adult. Like an adult will tie before the show, and they have the common sense, and they know, and they have patience, and they'll hang out. But a baby camel like that, we wouldn't, like this, we wouldn't do that. We just actually work with her, and we want her to have a good time, enjoy herself, and kind of listen to us. Stay within, you know, like leading, walking with me, and not pulling me all over the place or doing anything.
Not eating your corn dogs.
And not eating my microphone like she did before. Now, camels are really amazing animals. We hear some bad things about them. Like, what bad things do we hear about camels? They spit, exactly, but it's only the front row right there. It's nobody else. Actually, our camels will not do any kind of spitting. They never learn how to spit. The secret is that camels never spit on each other. They spit on people that irritate them for a long period of time. And then they have to learn how to spit. And once they're good at it, you know, it's just like achievement. They learn how to do something. So if they're at a zoo or someplace and they're a little bit bored and a kid wants in front of them, they'll go, look what I know how to do, and they'll spit, and it'll be a lot of fun. So they have a weird sense of humor also. But these guys never learned how to do that. She can actually go 2 weeks without drinking any water.
Oh, wait.
What?
She would die in a pile.
If what?
A real camel could go 2 weeks, but not a California
I know,
camel.
we've never tried that on our camels yet.
Ours would not like that.
Our camels, if their water's off for 10 minutes to repair something, they stand in a line and look at the house like,
Look, you gonna fix that?
hey, we're American camels. Like the Bedouins, the nomads in the desert, they'll let their camels out into the desert, and about 2 or 3 days later, the camels will come back for a drink of water. But they can go for 2 whole weeks, and they can lose 25% of their body weight in water. That's like a bathtub full of water. Drink it all up in 10 minutes and keep going. Doesn't even bother them. Now, all that water goes into their bloodstream. The hump is actually made out of fat. This whole thing over here, all the fat on the body migrated up over here to this one area, and it insulates them from the heat of the sun when it actually shines down. She's eyeing your food, saying, you know what?
She goes, is that what happened to the turkeys?
I know, I'm supposed to be a vegetarian, but forget about that for now. Come on, Fergie, you don't want to eat that. She says,
it's got a lot of sodium, hon.
I love juices. Come over here, come on. Come over here. She's like, no, I am not. Now she's scratching herself on the fence.
How cute is that?
Yeah.
That feels really good.
She's just very relaxed. She's just happy to be out here. So all the water goes into their bloodstream. Here, you can handle her a little bit.
Oh, I can.
Yeah, now that she saw the food, she's going to be a horrible, crazy camel. Their red blood cells are oblong. Our red blood cells are round. So ours can't change shape, but her red blood cells can change, just like balloons. So she loses water, they smush down, still flow through her system. 20 minutes after a camel drinks water, their red blood cells fill back up again. So that's how they kind of keep the water in their body, and they can let go of a little bit. But they don't like wasting water. And how do we kind of waste water? When it gets hot out, what do our bodies do to cool ourselves down? We sweat, exactly. So you know how you sweat and then you need to drink a bunch of water all the time? They don't want to have to do that. So what they do is that they actually let their body temperature rise. They don't try to cool themselves down. In the morning, a camel will be like about 98.6 degrees, but then when it heats up, the body temperature will go all the way up to 107 degrees.
Yeah.
That would kill us. You know, 103 degrees, we're going to the hospital. 107 degrees, she has no problem with that. At night, when there's a cool evening, she'll actually start just exuding all this heat. Next morning, she's 98.6 degrees. Now, Nancy's going to show you the prehensile lip on the camel. I know, I'm right over here.
She's like, really like
Good
that
girl.
turkey leg.
Yeah.
If this doesn't work with a stick, we'll get turkey leg guy over here.
Yeah. So look at her upper lip when she tries to grab that. Camels have a prehensile lip. You know how monkeys have a prehensile tail, has muscles in it, they can hang from it? Well, she can use her lips in order to grab stuff. So she can actually use the muscles in them. She can reach way up into the tree, and an adult camel can reach like 14 feet up to the tree, get the food adult animals can't get to, with his little tweezer lips, pull it down and eat it. So that's just one of those things that they have. When you look at her nostrils, you see how long the nostrils are? They're like little slits. That's so during a sandstorm, they can close down their nostrils with muscles that are around them and siphon out all the sand. Yeah, let me just pull it back a little bit. There you go. Come over here, Fergie. Come on. We're going to pet Camel at the end of the show.
Come here, bud.
I know you're a good girl. She just wants to stick around. So that's one more thing about them. And then also, There you go. If you look at her eyes, instead of having 2 eyelids, she has 3 eyelids. She has an upper and a lower one, just like us, and then she has a translucent one that comes across during a sandstorm. Because she can go without water for a long period of time, but she needs to eat all the time. So if it's like 3 days of a sandstorm, those little blue eyelids go over, and they look like zombies walking around in the desert. And that way they can walk around, the sand just bounce off of that and doesn't go in their eyes. Everything about their body really helps them live in the desert. We were talking about the winter coat. In the winter, they have a really thick coat, keeps them nice and warm. It actually snows up where we are in Ramona. We're between Ramona and Santa Isabel. Snows once in a while. Camels love the snow. They have no problem with it. This winter coat keeps them nice and warm. And then in the summer, they shed the coat. Now she's still young, she doesn't thermoregulate so well, but you can see the older camels, they've already shed, and she's in the process of doing that. Probably by the end of this fair, most of her fur will come off. Let me see, let's talk more about milking camels.
We're the first camel dairy in the United States.
Good girl, come here.
I'll just pause for your applause because that's pretty cool. That's pretty stupid. But then again, we raise turkeys, so there you go. But we started milking our camels about 20 years ago, actually, when we discovered that in other countries they were looking at camel milk for therapeutic purposes. Camel milk is really high in a digestible, usable insulin. What I mean by that is you can drink it, and then this insulin-like protein can survive the digestive tract and still work. And it was being used in a study for type 2 diabetics, and with really, really great results. So we have diabetic friends, and we thought, let's milk camels. So we started learning how to do it, and boy, am I glad we didn't know then what we know now, because we probably wouldn't have started. It's a little daunting. First of all, camels are very slow to reproduce, unlike cows and goats, where the babies, the gestation period's not that long. You can breed them back very quickly. They get pregnant really easily. Camels have a 13-month gestation period. So once you have the camel bred to the bull, you've got at least 13 months to wait until she has a baby. And this is where camel dairying gets interesting. In a cow dairy, the baby can leave and the mother will still give milk for up to like 9 months, I think. Lots of milk to the farmer. Camels won't do that. If the baby leaves, so does the milk. They dry up. So if you want to milk camels, you've got to assemble a milking team. And that's the best part, because it's a 3-member team. It's you and the mama camel and the baby camel all working together to get that milk drop every day. And then we can keep, whereas a dairy cow will stop giving milk to the farmer in 9 months, we can keep milking for a year and a half, because the baby's going to keep going in there and asking the mom for milk. Like, notice how the baby followed the mom out immediately? Yeah, she's totally not doing her job.
Also, we're doing the show a lot earlier. We had to change our shows. We're doing it a lot earlier than normal, so we're not 100% sure that we'll get milk. Because to get milk, the mother has to have more milk develop, and then actually a pressure that helps her drop the milk for the baby. And you can see the baby also is like, I just drank milk. I don't know if I need to come out here. So we'll just pull this out.
So let's see what happens. It could be totally awesome.
Yeah.
And even if she doesn't drop the milk, we'll explain how it works. It's actually the same thing. How cute is that baby? I know. Who cares if we get milk or not? That is an adorable child right there. Best child in the world. So we're using the same milking style that Bedouins in the Middle East use to milk their nomadic camels. We're using a shamala. And the shamala, oh, look at that baby, she's so good. The shamala is the udder cover that keeps the teats out of baby's reach until it's milking time. So once Gil went over and touched the shamala, the baby went, okay, I'm gonna go to work and do my job. See how the mom turns and smells her? Even though there's only one baby camel in that pen, her instincts are to make sure that's her baby. So you can't just have 8 milking camels and 1 baby to go in there and stimulate them. It has to be their baby or they won't drop milk. Dropping milk, what I mean is the same thing with humans. There's milk there, but it's not pushing out. It's not drinkable or milkable until the mother lets down her milk. And that's what we're waiting for right now. Look at the mama's head. The baby's going kind of from teat to teat, So, oh wait, is she staying? Yeah, she's still going from teat to teat.
Yeah.
The mom's head gets very still, and then what we're waiting for is the mom is going to blink. If she's going to drop milk, her eyes will blink big.
There you go. So that big blink,
Yeah.
right? There should be another one too. But that means that she's excreting oxytocin. See that big blink?
Yeah.
And that oxytocin is a hormone that causes muscles to contract. So right now it actually excretes from the brain, so anything around the brain, like the eyes, start contracting. Now right now it's in the bloodstream and it's flowing all through her blood. It has to reach all the way back to the udder, to the
Big
muscles
mistake.
around the udder, and then it will be pushed
Oh, maybe not.
all the way. No, she still has, I think she still has like 30, 40 seconds or so, but we're just going to watch over here. The camel has like 10 or 12 liters up in the udder, and right now everything is in there. If I press on the teats, nothing comes out. So the baby goes from one to the other, and it's looking like for low-fat, high-fat, chocolate milk, whatever. So people are listening. Let's see what else she can find over there. But in a moment, the teat's going to fill up with milk, and then I'll be able to milk it with you guys. Now here's another neat thing about camels. When they do have milk, they only have milk for 90 seconds. This giant animal, like a cow will just give you milk like for half an hour, everything that's in the udder. But these guys, no. So the baby's gonna go to the other teat right over there, and I'm gonna get in right here, and then, there you go, so there it is. You can reach far, I just don't want to spring everybody. But I'll go ahead and milk a little bit for you guys so you see what the cow milk looks like. Now I just have my 90 seconds or 40 seconds left right now. At home, Nancy and I will be one on each side, and then the baby will actually go ahead and get the grain. 10 minutes after we milk, the baby goes and says, "Hey mom, I want some more milk." And she gives the baby all the milk that he wants. And that way, we share the milk production with the baby. And if you look at our baby and look at our hump, you see how big our hump is? That's all from mother's milk. So this is really just the nicest way to do the dairy. And we're working with the baby and with the mom, just like Nancy said.
It's so neat to have the little babies in there because when we first start, the baby doesn't know the deal. And if they're bonded to their mother, they don't want a big two-legged, fleshy-looking thing touching them. So at first they're like, "I don't know what you are, but I don't think I like you." And then after a couple days, they're like, "Oh, you're not so bad." And then when they discover the grain in the bucket, "You're awesome."
Exactly. And look,
she's getting really sweet. But
and this is all the milk I have now. One second,
Like
one
that
moment.
thing.
There you go. Just like that. See, that's all the squirt I have,
Yeah.
and there's no more milk in the teat.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Now, after we explain how long their gestation is, how short a time you have to milk, all these really negative aspects to camel dairying, doesn't this seem like a stupid idea? I know, but the thing is, camel milk is really, really important. And remember that you heard that here because you're going to hear more and more about it, and Gil's going to start telling you what's amazing about this milk as opposed to other milkable milks.
So at first we thought, the unique thing, it has actually insulin in it. But now we know that it's the closest milk to human mother's milk. And people that can't see it, I'll put it over there in the store after we're done. Closest milk to human mother's milk. So that means there's no allergies to it whatsoever. If there's a child that has horrible food allergies, can't drink anything, they can drink camel milk and do really good with it. It's high in protein. It's triple the amount of vitamin C, which is an antioxidant, really good for you. It's good for Crohn's disease, colitis, those are stomach ailments. 1 cup a day is really good for that. And about 30% of autistic children are responding really good to camel milk as well. So right now people are working on a milk replacer for babies. They already use that overseas. And then more and more people are drinking it. We can't sell it in California because the regulations are harsh. We have to start a grade A dairy, which is like $200,000 to milk 1 or 2 camels. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
but in
give us a
Arizona,
loan for that. I mean, if you think about it. Oh, so go
exactly.
ahead. I'm sorry.
No. But in Arizona, you can go ahead and you can sell the milk raw from your farm if you want to. So what we do is we make product. We make soap and lotion, a lip balm. We make everything ourselves. It's for sale at the store after the show. And this milk is good for you inside and outside. Very moisturizing and very, very good for you.
You can see with the calf, she's actually just starting, I guess you could call it training. It's not really big training. but she's coming up to get the grain, and I put my hand right over, so she has to reach under my hand. That's just how we get her used to the idea of being petted and then wearing a halter. That's why our babies, it's not real hard to get halters on them, because they're kind of used to our hands sort of fidgeting around their faces, just very gently, all super positive. We try to make the training not like, okay, got to go into today and cram for a final. Nothing should be hard. It should all just be natural daily progression of learning to live in your family and learning what your part in the family is. So it's really fun. Do you guys do Facebook and Instagram? You don't have to admit it. It's okay. But I do. And so if you do that, we have a it's the same, Oasis Camel Dairy on both platforms. And oh my gosh, you guys, we put up the cutest video yesterday of Gil was putting the bags of pine shavings in, and they're like big piles of fresh pine shavings, and then the baby discovered them. And the video, it's only like, I don't know, 30 seconds or something, but it's she's just hilarious. And actually, getting to do this fair has just been a complete pleasure for us. Because how many of y'all run your own business? How much time do you get to spend doing the part of your business that you love doing, and how much time do you spend doing everything else that the business takes up? This is the part that we love doing, and we spend way too much time having to do maintenance and bookkeeping and shopping for things that we need, and it's just so cool to be here every day with these four, and especially getting to be with this baby at this critical time of her learning, because they just learn every day. She's so amazing. Can you tell we don't have kids? Yeah, I know.
She likes scratching.
It's so amazing. Oh, and I'm going to put up a video. I think I'll put it up tomorrow. So when we put on her udder cover in the morning, we brush her and brush her and brush her and brush her, and she just loves it. And we do it every single day. And the other day when we finished brushing, she walked up to Gil, like very purposefully, and neither one of us have ever seen this, and we've been doing this a long time. She walked up and started licking him like she would her baby. Yes, so I videotaped it, and it'll be under the heading, I think I called it Camel Attack. Because in the still it looks like he's going, oh my gosh, and the camel's like, da-da! Because I think that'll get a lot of hits. I know marketing, I know.
I'll tell you, when you're hanging out here with him over here, you can see how intelligent they are. You're really with them every day. And Knuckles was laying down, and her baby went over and started riling up the other camels and jumping on them. And then she came back, and then they ran around, and Knuckles had to get up, and she didn't want to. And then Knuckles lay down again, and her baby was jumping on Knuckles, and it was okay. And then the baby started walking over to the other camels, to start messing around with them. And Knuckles turned her head and went, ugh. And the baby ran over to her, turned around, and laid down. And that's communication. That was pretty amazing just to see this. You know exactly what her mom
yes,
wanted.
Mommy.
We're going to bring out one more camel for you guys. We're going to be out Camelot. Our next open house is going to be July 13th and 14th. It's going to be watermelons, where you can feed watermelons to the camels. We have camel rides. We do a beautiful show up at our ranch between Ramona and Julian Apple Pie. So check us out on cameldairy.com. And Camelot's going to come right over here.
He's sprinkling.
That's it. I know. This is what he does when he comes out. He kind of performs some of his stuff. So this guy actually goes into churches, and he never goes to the bathroom in a church ever. He's just he walks in. He feels very comfortable. What he's chewing right now is his cud. They have 3 stomachs. We have 1 stomach, food just goes one direction. They have 3 stomachs, the food actually goes in, comes up, goes to the 2nd stomach, comes up, goes to the 3rd. It's very, very efficient. They can eat wood. I mean, they can eat trees if they wanted to and digest it completely, because they're so efficient about that. But chewing the cud is a compliment. Camels only do that when they're very, very relaxed and peaceful and at home. So if he comes out over here to you guys and he starts chewing his cud, it just shows that he's very, very happy. And this is all he wants to do. He just wants to come out and hang out with people over here. Is there anything else you want to say?
I'm just grooming his little beard. How many of you have been up to our place and ridden our camels? If you have, it might have been this one. He's 20 years old now. We have 4 camels that are trained to do the camel ride. We do a 200-pound weight limit, and actually camels can carry like 600 pounds. The camels in Timbuktu, they carry 600 pounds of salt for 10 hours a day for 45 days with 1 water stop.
2 waters, yeah.
In the middle, that's it. We read that in a book. But our camels don't read, So they have absolutely no interest in carrying 600 pounds for 10 hours a day.
They don't believe it.
But the rides are really fun because the camels really like working one-on-one with their handler, and they're very kind to people. It's really fun to watch the camels, especially if we've got like a youngster who's, you know, maybe having some motor skill issues. It's really neat to watch the camel, you know, kind of be very careful about how they walk, and it's also neat to see the female camels around babies. I mean, they know what a baby is. It doesn't matter if it's a baby human or a baby camel. Lady camels like babies. So you got to bring your kids up to see our camels.
That's really true.
I'm gonna go over and open up our little store, and I think it works. I brought the things so that we can do credit and debit cards, and we have camel milk chocolate from Dubai, and then also all the things that we make with our camel milk. And did you put, the bucket of milk that he just milked is sitting right there, so you can go and check it out. But don't drink it, you guys. We'll get arrested. I'm serious. They will come with semi-automatic weapons and those giant zip ties and haul us off. It's a big deal, we've learned. We didn't know that at first. Because what does it taste like? Okay, who here, raise your hand if you like the taste of milk. If you like milk, you would love this because it is light and refreshing. Yeah, because the fat molecules are smaller and the protein molecules, again, because it's more like human milk, it doesn't coat your tongue and the roof of your mouth. It's just fresh. You just drink it and you're ready to drink more. If I was going to compare it to anything, I would say a very high quality, light mozzarella because it's a little bit salty and a little bit sweet. It's just heavenly. You can taste it in the chocolate, in the milk chocolate varieties. You can taste it pretty well. But let's see, y'all are going to just have to go out and get your own camel, and then you can drink as much as you want, because that's legal. What's that? When they shed, do we use the hair? Well, we save the hair for a long time, and then we finally throw it away when we haven't done anything with it, and the dogs have torn into it. This year, we're really going to commit to send it to a processing, because it's a lot to process fiber. Whoever does that, the sheep fiber, and getting it all clean, and then turning it into yarn, it's a huge deal. Yeah. Now, if it took a glue gun or a stapler, I could do it, and it would be amazing. But if it actually takes a skill, no. We just save it. But we do separate the hair. Like we've got a separate bag with Fergie's hair in it because she's still got that sort of baby hair, and we like the color. And then we have Camelot hair. Look at his cute face. I'm gonna leave now. I'm gonna leave, and Gil's gonna answer.
Are you?
Wow, I guess. Wow. Yeah, I am.
Come over here, you can do Camelot.
No, I'll go to the store.
Okay. If anybody wants to pet him, I'm going to bring right over here. So everybody can pet him on his neck and his shoulder. Right over here. So if you have any questions, let me know. And you can come right up here and pet Camelot. Do we take volunteers? Sometimes we do. You just have to contact us at cameldairy.com. Just on the neck and the shoulder. There you go. So pet him on his neck and his shoulder, folks. There you go. I'll bring him around one more time because I know some other people didn't get to pet him. There you go, on his neck and his shoulder. There you go. Unless he reaches over and he drinks your soda. If he wants to drink your soda, please let him. The big pads are when they lay down. They have the 5 pads: elbows, knees, and a big chest pad. When they lay down, it keeps them protected from the sand. you go. Okay, we're going to go ahead and take him back in. The pads they develop, if you look at the baby, do you see how the baby's pads are really, really small? And they come in. So that's her pads. When she was born, she had no pads at all. And they're coming in more and more. And then the rougher the ground, the better and more developed the pads will actually be. Some deserts are rock deserts, and they have giant, strong pads for those.